Gerald Show.
Let's roll. What is up, guys? It is the Sports Sir Bradley Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio, part of NGSC Sports, guys. Remember the website, it's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. We are sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com, the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. We are also sponsored by Garrett's Carrots via NGSC. So thank you guys for that. Welcome in, guys. We're back. As you can see, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for the hat I'm wearing right here, but we have a New England Patriot writer coming on this evening to talk Patriot football. We're back, guys, to the regular format. The next few weeks we're going to be touching, as football is a mere 2 or 3 weeks away from starting
16 days.
There you go, 16 days. I have a good inside track that I probably most likely got credentials again this year for USF. So I will be there on September 3rd as they play BYU at Raymond James Stadium. I found out the other day that the kid that transferred from Baylor is going to be the starting quarterback. So there'll be a new starting quarterback for Coach Jeff Scott and company this year. As I predicted a couple weeks ago, I think the team can win 5 or 6 this year, or they need to win 5 or 6. And in all reality, for Jeff, they need to win at least 4. They cannot win 2 games like they did last year, and they cannot win 1 game like they did in 2020. They're gonna have to get better for the sake to keep Jeff Scott around. I think Jeff Scott is the right head coach. There's a lot of buzz going on and stuff like that with the team. The on-campus stadium is going to happen. That's in the works. I actually read a tweet yesterday from my boys on the USF rugby team that the fields that don't get used use the fields, and they're like, well, rugby's the oldest sport around, so stop making fun of us. We've been around way longer than football. And I said, well, that would be kind of cool if they built a rugby field, or they use the stadium as a rugby field during the rugby season. That would be kind of cool to have the open air, have the stadium there for rugby when rugby season rolled around. Well, there is Lou. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sweet Lou, how you doing tonight?
All right.
How's everyone doing? How you doing, bud?
All right.
I have huge news we'll get into at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that.
Cool beans. How was I feel bad, Gerald comes on here. I'm sorry. That time that his show is, I take that time to eat and kind of chillax after work. And I did something today. I know this is not a lot, but I changed my air filter in my car today for the first time in my life. A DIY situation today. It needed to be changed badly. I went and picked it up the other day. They couldn't get the screw out. I got it out and changed it all by myself today. Thank you, YouTube, for showing me how to get the pipe off for me to get the lid to come off.
Right.
So I did that today.
YouTube's the best, man.
So thank you, YouTube, because without you, I would still be stuck with my old air filter. But anyway, we can start, guys, anywhere you guys want to start. It doesn't matter. I can't post, pictures up behind me because my green screen is still messed up. I went back and watched the show the other night, and I froze up a lot during that show. I don't know.
What was it?
I only noticed it a couple of times early on.
Because it seemed like a lot. I wanted to ask you guys a question because you're part of the team now. Should I leave the Sunshine State Sports Jabber episodes up on the YouTube page?
I would. Why not?
All right,
well,
I was just
You could
asking.
always put them. You could always private them. You could always archive them. You
Archive
should,
them.
in my opinion, you should create a playlist for this show,
Okay.
so that people can you can go in and just click the playlist and watch them all
Right.
in order.
yes.
I can work on that. That's definitely doable. That's definitely
Sounds
doable.
good to me.
Like I said, guys, I have about everything.
Yeah, I know we haven't done a traditional show in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah. So I have a lot of things. I'm hoping some of this stuff that I've comprised has. Why don't we do golf? Because I know Gerald's not really interested in doing golf.
Okay.
Okay, we can hit golf.
Is so yesterday on the PGA Tour, or maybe not yesterday, but the day before, Tiger Woods met with the PGA pros
Yes.
in retrospect to talk about, obviously, topic number one. That's the LIV Tour. Know that that's the article and what's going on. Let me share with you what he mentioned in his press conference, or whatever, his meeting that he had with the PGA brass. He had a tweet like this. So let me share the page real quick. I have my cable back, so I'm actually watching the Vikings Raiders game right now.
Yeah, that's what I got on. I think this was from last week.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go here. Let's go here. So here is what this is the that came up when these pretty harsh words. Obviously, he's not going to agree with what the LIV Tour has been doing. So there you go, right there. There's the can you guys see that, or you mean to blow it up a little bit?
I think it's
I can see it.
Blow that up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a bit hyperbolic, isn't it?
Hang on just a second. Let me see. You think? Yeah, there you go. How about that? That better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, that's good.
Down here.
That's good. The Bears
There you
Seahawks,
go.
which is
Yeah, so
live, is on. The Bears Seahawks is live on at ESPN.
Oof.
ESPN?
No, it's,
Okay.
yeah, ESPN.
I'd rather watch a WNBA game than the whoa.
That's a bit hyperbolic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Wasn't-
think about this.
And that's not the most.
Words.
It's not exactly the most flattering picture of him either, is it?
No.
It kind of makes him look like a crazy person.
It does.
True.
That quote kind of makes him look like a crazy person too. And that's not a slight against the WNBA, but I should have crossed her nose, not up it. Cripe's sake, man. I think the PGA is doing a disservice to themselves by making such a deal out of the LIV Tour. I think that people are going to tune over there to see what's going on. Like we were talking about on Gerald's show, talking about WWE and WCW, this more mirrors AEW and WWE. AEW wants to chirp the WWE and talk smack about the WWE.
Right.
I mean, the PGA is doing the same thing to the LIV Tour, and the LIV people are like, "Hey, we got Saudi money. We don't really care. You can talk all you want. We got all that Saudi money. We got all that oil money. We got that big oil money. So keep talking. We're in your mouth.
Yeah,
so
everybody listen.
we're in your mouth. That's all that matters to us. There's no bad press as long as they spell your name right."
Yeah, that's like I said. That was said yesterday. I heard leading up to yesterday. I think last week that they were going to have in a way like a players meeting or something like that. I saw a meme on Instagram. I forget what the name of the movie is, but yeah. See, here we go. Tiger Woods to meet with top golfers to support the PGA Tour. I know the LIV Tour offered Tiger like $2 billion to come play. So that's just that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he took that down. The only thing that I would be worried about if on the PGA Tour is if Live keeps stealing your stars away, sooner or later people are going to stop watching you. So that's
But if you-
my only worry about the PGA Tour.
Right.
my thing about it is like, worry about putting out a good product first.
Correct.
Yes.
Make sure. Well, this is the bugaboo of all major sports except the NFL, is that they only have one star at a time. The NFL somehow manages to go from, Tarkenton and Unitas in the 60s to Bradshaw and Staubach in the 70s to Marino and Montana in the 80s and Favre and Aikman in the 90s and Brady and Manning in the 2000s to Rodgers and Brady in the 2010s. Hey Gerald, how you doing, buddy?
I'm going to be here listening. I'm fixing to grab me a bite to eat, but I'm going to be listening.
Cool beans.
All right, sounds good.
And then I'll be back.
And then maybe you're not an offensive guy, maybe you're a defensive guy. You've got you've got the 70s Steelers, you got the 80s Bears, you got the 90s Cowboys, you got the 2000s Ravens, the 2010 Legion of Boom. I mean, it's always having the NFL is always reinventing itself every 10 years and creating new superstars. Who are the superstars that are not just golf people? No. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, maybe.
Phil Mickelson.
But Mickelson is not winning titles. Tiger isn't winning titles. Mickelson isn't winning.
The names you'd have to watch out for be like Justin Thomas. A lot of people know who Justin Thomas is.
Yeah,
Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, they're both on Live.
Yeah,
but they're not famous for being golfers. They're famous for running their mouth and being.
Well, Brooks Koepka's got 3 majors and Bryson's got 1. I mean, it's not Tiger level, but still.
And that's the thing, is they're not on. They're not going on Sports Center. Nobody's talking about them during the middle of the week. It's not the lead story on Sports Center unless they do something stupid.
Right.
Or they run their mouth or they shoot their mouth off. And I mean, and that's the problem, is golf has no superstars.
Right.
Not the PGA Tour doesn't have any real household names that normal people who watch basketball and football can name. And that's what I'm talking about, is that they don't have superstars. The people that don't follow golf, no.
Well, if you could think about that, but too, I mean, I think since Tiger's kind of gone away from the limelight, they don't. I mean, it's not like it was back in the day when you had, Gary Player and Arnold Palmer and Jack, and
Ernie Els.
Moving on to like the Ernie Els and all of them, and coming into the new era, the David Duvalls of the world, stuff like that. You had those names, but they, since then it hasn't, there hasn't really been. And then
they haven't developed any stars.
No.
Well, and then all the stars that are there now for what they call the new, like the Ricky Fowlers and the Bubba Watsons and all of them. Bubba's on the Live Tour.
Right.
So guys like that, they are. I mean, again, we're not talking, 5-6 major championship winners, but they are known. They're known on tour. When I go to golf tournaments, we all rush over to see certain stars, but then there are other people that we don't know. I think the guy, to be honest with you, that's on the rise, that could be a star, or from one of those,
a future
what do
star?
they call that? Come from out of nowhere stories, is Tony Finau. Tony Finau grew up hitting golf balls in his dad's garage. Him and his brother both. And now he's got kids. They just watch. He's won back-to-back weeks on the PGA Tour. He's got back-to-back wins. He's chasing the FedEx Cup, just like NASCAR is in the playoff. You're chasing the FedEx Cup now. So the winner of the FedEx Cup is $10 million. So that's amazing.
I still stand by my point. I still stand by what I was saying. It's like the average sportsman. I'm not talking about the lunatics that do their own podcast show. I'm talking about your average sports fan that doesn't follow golf on a week-to-week basis, that doesn't care, that doesn't give 2 craps about golf, doesn't give 2 shits about golf, let alone let alone follows golf weekend. Who's the player? They can't name any player. Or maybe they throw out Rory McIlroy. Maybe they throw out Phil Mickelson. Maybe they throw out Tiger Woods. But those guys aren't. But do they come up with Ricky Fowler? Do they come up with
not your average golf? Yeah, somebody that's just
Not-
picking up.
the casual golf fan, the casual football fan can name probably 20 starters out of 32.
Most likely,
Probably.
You know, they might miss David Mills, and Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz. I mean, I could probably sit here and name all 32 quarterbacks off the top of my head without having really to think about it.
right.
But I can't name 30 golfers. I can't name 3 golfers on the tour right now, let alone 32.
Well, I think the only thing that I think that's good for golf is live, and the reason why is because we're talking about it.
And that's
Right
what
now,
I'm saying.
we wouldn't be talking about the PGA Tour. The majors are all over. The 4 majors are over. And the guy that won the British Open or the Open Championship is now on Live. Cameron Smith left the PGA Tour and is on the Live Tour now.
I mean,
Yeah.
and when's the Ryder Cup?
The Ryder Cup is next year.
Next year.
Next year? Oh, so I don't do it every year?
No, this year's the President's Cup. So it's
Okay, so it's the same tour. So that's not. When is that? A couple weeks?
President's Cup is after. I think after. Yeah, I was gonna say next
After
month.
Labor Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the United States versus everybody outside of Europe. So it's the rest of the world, the South Americans, Mexico,
Canada.
Fiji, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all of
Oklahoma.
them. Yeah. So the Ryder Cup is in Rome next year,
Okay.
and the United States has the cup.
Right. I thought that the tournament was always played in England, but I was
Well, here's the whole thing with that. What happened is when we had 9/11,
okay.
they switched the Ryder Cup to the even years, and then when the pandemic hit in 2020, it went back to the odd years. So the Ryder Cup changes when we have national tragedies, and then it changes
Or international.
international tragedies. So
Galactic.
yeah, so yes, the Ryder Cup is next year on European soil, and obviously in Rome. We all know where Rome is at in Italy.
Yeah,
So
Rome,
we
New
know
York.
Rome, New York. Yeah, that's right.
Rome, Georgia.
Um,
Rome, Georgia. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go if it's in Rome, Georgia.
Yeah.
That's right down the road from me. It's about an hour away.
She was in REM.
Yeah, so and the next major isn't until April. So
Right.
we're
We're about 6
far
months
away.
away. Yeah.
the Masters.
And then the problem with the Masters is it's gonna get buried by March Madness.
Yeah.
yeah, it's around Easter
Which-
Sunday.
Usually, depending on the calendar.
Depending on I was gonna say that the
Right.
March Madness may be over by then, but my thing about golf is like I'm a casual golf fan. I
Right.
can't golf on TV. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. Golf on TV stinks. I've never been to a live game. The one match that did really got me was, as I say, 2019. Tiger winning the Masters one last time, and that one brought a tear to my eye. That one choked me up. But
don't
other
think
than that,
Dry eyes on
Yeah.
Sunday. I didn't. I know. I
No.
wasn't. So, yeah.
no,
I was stunned myself.
one last hoorah. But other than like golf just doesn't have that mass appeal. Well, I think the
No.
biggest problem for golf, like take any of those sports that were really hot in the late 90s, golf, X Games, NASCAR, is the money's gone. The .com bubble burst. We don't talk about this enough. Is when the .com bubble burst and the housing market crashed and gas went to $3 a gallon, people stopped caring about those things that they only cared about because they had money. All the yuppies, all the schmucks,
Yeah.
all the country bumpkins with money, their money went to the NFL and the NBA.
Mhm.
NASCAR, golf, extreme sports like skiing and snowboarding and
Did I mention
skateboarding,
that, right?
BMX. Did I say NASCAR? I meant to say I think I said that NASCAR.
Yes, you did.
You
You
know,
did.
and all their money went to the NBA and the NFL.
Yeah.
And most of it went to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the NFL, because the NFL is so big in this country. I know it's not big anywhere else, but it's so big in this country that American sports dollars all went to the NFL. And everybody that was making money hand over fist, everybody that was printing checks
Right.
or printing money, not printing checks, printing money, all that money dried up because all the people that had money, all those white collar guys, all those blue collar guys that became white collar guys because they could put together a website. It all went away when the .com bubble burst, and then the housing bubble burst because the .com bubble burst, and then gas went to $3 a gallon in 2008, and the golf tournaments, the NASCAR races, the ski trips, the snowboarding trips, the X Games, it all went away because there wasn't enough money for it, and we had to spend we have X amount of entertainment dollars in a given year, and we're gonna do an NFL game, maybe 2, and that's gonna be $500 to $1,000 for both games, $500 to $1,000 for both games a piece. So you're looking at $1,000 to $2,000 per game for the average family of 4, and all those, you know, that when those $110,000, $120,000 a year jobs went away, when all them low skill, high paying jobs went away, when the .com bubble exploded, when the housing bubble burst and gas went to $3, I know I've said this 3 times, but it bore repeating. I'll say it again.
Yes.
When all the extra entertainment dollars went away,
Vanished.
you know, people were going to one football game, or they were taking that $1,000 that they were spending on going to multiple games and going to multiple venues and doing multiple things each year, and we're buying season tickets and going to multiple NFL games a year.
Or NBA. Or NBA.
Or NBA, or, you know, it was 2 football games in an NBA game.
Yeah.
And when you know, when the automotive downturn in 2008 happened, when the slowdown in Iraq happened, when the drawdown in Iraq happened in 2010, when you know, the Afghan drawdown, when all those military contracts went away, and all those people that were doing military contracting, you know, all those subcontractors lost all those subcontracts, and they had to cut back, you know, and thousands of jobs were lost, you know, and thousands of extra dollars were lost, and people had to start over again. That's when things like the NHL, NASCAR, golf, X Games, you know, any of the extreme sports that were super popular from like 95 to 2012-ish.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they saw their, you know, they all started to see a decline about from 2006 to 2011. And by 2012, when things were starting to come back, people had forgotten about those things or left those things behind. And when they started having extra dollars, those dollars went to other things. They spent more because football games were fun and interesting. They didn't go back to golf. Golf didn't cultivate, and golf doesn't have any superstars that are in the mainstream that transcend the sport of golf.
Not anymore. Not right now, they don't. Tiger was that for a long time, but
because
after that, no.
Because all they needed was Tiger. Because for so long, for 20 years, all they needed was Tiger. You know, if Tiger was playing, they'd pull $2-3 million a week, no problem, and probably double or triple that in a major.
Yes.
Well, the thing with me with Liv, I think
flies.
The only thing I think that Liv is holding the Liv Tour back is getting a major TV deal. I think if they can get a network to agree to air their golf, they're going to be fine. And that's going to, but, you know.
Fox, maybe?
That's what I was thinking.
But see, here's the thing with Fox. Whoever agrees, they're going to say, oh, well, then they obviously, you know, don't care about 9/11, all the people that died. And so it's going to be interesting to see which TV company comes up with a contract. I can guarantee you it's not going to be ESPN or ABC because that's Disney. That's not going to happen. I mean,
I
you're $1 billion
never say never.
organization. Why would you not create your own TV revenue? Why would you not create your own TV network? You got billions of dollars. You own teams and you own a league. You own the whole Live Tour. Why not create it? You know, kind of like you guys remember the movie Rollerball, right? Remember the TV that movie Rollerball? Kind of, he was trying to get the Rollerball to be seen on American TV, and I think at the end of the day, if you were able to create your own TV network, you're fine. I think Liv has enough money to be able to do that. I did watch I watch YouTube a lot, maybe about 3 or 4 hours a day.
That's it.
Yeah, I get picked about that too. That's too much. But anyway, there's one of the channels I watch is called Rick Shields. He's a tour, not a tour player. He's a coach.
He's a golf pro.
He's from England. Yeah, he's from England. He's English. And he was on his podcast the other day with his buddy, and they were talking about the Live Tour, and they were talking about how they don't like the way that it's boring to watch on TV because it's so. Think about this. Usually when you watch PGA Tour golf, they all tee off on number 1 or number 10, depending on what day of the week it is.
Yes.
The Live Tour does a shotgun start. If you've ever played in any tournament, what a shotgun start is, guys, is everybody tees off from a certain hole. So, for example, if the 3 of us were playing, or even Gerald, the 4 of us were playing, we had 4 teams. I could be teeing off on 1. Luke could be teeing off on 4. Adam, you could be teeing off on 10, and Gerald's team could be teeing off on 18, all at the same time. Well, how the hell do you follow in golf when you don't know who's teeing off on what hole? So it's confusing for that. I mean, so we'll have to see again at the end of the day. Well,
that's when you get popped.
Correct. Exactly.
He's on hole 18, but he's on hole 18, but this is his first. This is his first hole.
Yeah.
So he'll finish on
Suppose
7.
you're hitting a ball and somebody whacks you with their ball. Then what?
So whatever hole you start on is
back.
yeah. So whatever. I mean, so whatever hole so if you start on 4, you're going to end on 3. You're going to leave the golf course in the hole number 3 instead of leaving at 18 like you normally do.
Like somebody hits you with the ball, be like that scene from Caddyshack.
Whoa,
guy swings and hits the tree, bounces off the tree, and hits the other guy in the head.
And it's in the hole. I propose we let the kangaroos play through.
Yes.
The best part of that movie,
play through.
The best part of that movie, though, is when that groundskeeper goes up to that gopher.
I love when he's
Bill Murray
whacking the flowers with the weed whacker.
Act like he's gonna win the Masters. Win the Masters. Yeah. Yeah. That was Bill Murray. A very, very young Bill Murray at that time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a great sports movie.
Bill Murray. Now how good that movie was and how crappy the second one was.
Yeah.
Jack 2 was so crappy. So yeah,
I refuse to acknowledge its existence.
That was very crappy.
You should leave that one alone.
The first one was hilarious.
Yeah.
The second one was just plain stupid.
Yes. I agree.
Never even seen it.
Well, Adam, you're not missing anything, so don't worry about it. Chevy Chase is back, but no Bill Murray. Dan Aykroyd makes a cameo in the movie. It's not good. Leave it at that.
I'll just watch.
Yeah,
I'll just watch Stripes to be all right.
So we can move to the MLB. I think we kind of talked briefly about this last week, but we did lose Vin Scully, the famous Dodgers broadcaster. Again, he was with the Dodgers when they were in Brooklyn, and for all the people out there that did not know that the Dodgers played in Brooklyn, New York, before they moved to Los Angeles.
Yes, I was a Dodgers fan.
Welcome to reality, because they did play in Brooklyn before they moved, and the Giants played in New York before they moved to San Francisco.
Yeah, they were the Brooklyn Dodgers before they became the LA Dodgers.
Yes.
That is correct. And then, of course, they were the ones who signed Jackie Robinson, and the rest is history with number 42. And that was a great movie, by the way, too. Speaking of good,
I haven't seen that yet.
Yes.
42 is a good movie
Oh
Kinda like-
yeah.
with the
It's been on
late
my watch list for years, but I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet.
Chadwick Boseman. Please, if you can see it, he plays a great
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson.
That
in
movie. That
I've
movie.
only-
That movie makes you sit there and think about, man. Look what these African American players went through back in that time.
Ooh,
Yeah.
bad stuff. Bad stuff.
Yeah.
They're the ones that actually opened it up for us to play sports today.
Yep.
Correct. ESPN analyst Tim Kirchin was honored in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think he was inducted into the
Awesome.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
Well deserved.
Great writer.
Well
If you-
deserved.
If you between him and Tim Gammons, Tim Gammons,
Mm.
between those two, I don't know who's the best when it comes to baseball. Right?
I gotta give Kirchens the nod.
Gammons.
Those two are the greatest baseball analysts and writers I think I've ever read and seen and been able to watch, not talk to, but been able
Yeah.
to watch on ESPN for so many years.
I'll throw out Jeff Passan.
Jeff Passan's a good one too.
Yes.
Passan's a good one also.
Right. Here are a lot of his articles.
You know who's not remembered as a baseball guy, but he got his start as a baseball guy? Is Bob Costas.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't forget Bob.
Who did he do play by play for?
NBC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we still have
Al Michaels did baseball too.
Yes, he
ABC.
did. Yes, he did. What was I going to say?
About a
who's
month
the-
left.
Who's the Bob Uecker still does Milwaukee Brewers baseball?
He does.
Of course, in Major League, all the Major League movies, Bob Uecker was part of that. But yeah, he still does the play-by-play for the Brewers. I think I think he does TV or radio. I'm not sure.
Video. I
Uh,
think. Radio.
Yeah, radio guy. So there's so many good ones. I mean, I think Euchre's kind of the last of the remaining great ones, like the Scullies.
But Euchre was also a player. Keep that in mind as well.
Yes, correct.
He wasn't very good, but he was a player.
Sometimes, it's funny, Lou. Sometimes bad players make great analysts. They make
Yeah,
great
they do.
analysts. It's like that. That's what they were meant to do, was to call the games instead of playing the game.
Well-
you know what I mean?
He did win a title in '64.
For the Cardinals?
I got something I want to bring up to you, see what you think about this. The 2023 Hall of Fame class has already been named.
In what sport?
NFL.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Chuck Howey,
I have to look him up.
Joe Klecko,
Joe Kliko.
Ooh,
Yep, I know who that
good
is.
one. Good one.
Ken Riley,
I have to look that name doesn't sound
That
familiar.
name.
let's see. Come on. And then gonna bring up the rest of them.
No, he
And then
did.
there was a couple
they're
sports
finalists.
writers that actually got inducted into it.
These are the guys. They're finalists. They haven't been.
Right.
They've been nominated as finalists.
I was gonna say, had there been
Okay.
or just
So Chuck Howley, Joe Kliko, and Ken Ripley are senior finalists for the Hall of Fame 2023.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, they had to be nominated, then go through a process, and then they'll make it because the announcement doesn't come till I think late January, early February, just before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like that last weekend before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think Montana's already in there, isn't he?
He's long
Yeah,
been in.
Chuck's been in there.
He was a first ballot. I can't believe Ken Anderson isn't in the Hall of Fame.
I'm mad that Rondé Barber's not in the Hall of Fame.
He should be in this year.
Yeah, he's
Being a homer, being in Tampa Bay.
He was, Rondé Barber was great. I'm surprised Sterling Sharp isn't in.
That's a shock. Shannon's in there.
Yeah.
Shannon's in the Hall of Fame.
I think the reason that Sterling isn't in is because he didn't play long enough. He got
Right.
hurt, Art Modell isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's a shocker.
Art Rooney Jr. has been nominated. What do you think about Mike Shanahan?
He deserves to be there.
He was
Deserved
great.
it.
He's one of my all-time favorite.
One Super Bowl as a coach.
Two.
Two.
He won both. He won Elway
Oh,
his two
John
Super Bowls.
Elway's last two
What
years.
about
Right?
Jim Marshall?
Yeah.
Didn't he play for the Vikings?
He should be in there.
I'm going to leave this question for you real quick, guys, with MLB. Why aren't MLB owners paying minor league players? That's something that I think Rob Manfred needs to have an answer to.
Yeah.
It should be that way.
Because the MLB and the and minor league baseball basically have a handshake agreement.
Yeah.
You know, I think that
For minor league baseball players, I think there's a change.
Mm.
So
I don't. Well, this goes back to my argument about the NIL.
Okay.
You know, this is a chance for minor league baseball or college baseball players to be able to earn some money to go play minor league baseball.
Mhm.
They can use their name, image, and likeness to be able to earn some money while they're playing college baseball to further their baseball career.
Yeah.
you said you guys were talking about the WWE on Gerald's show.
We did talk about it for a few minutes. Yeah,
We did.
kind of complained about
Well-
how terrible modern WWE is and reminisce about the '90s, like we always do.
Because Vince McMahon is out, so he's retired, and Triple H has taken over the creative part of the WWE.
The creative and
Yes.
the talent part of it.
Yeah.
And I think we'll have to wait and see. It's too early to tell. A lot of people that follow it, James, who was on Gerald's show, was saying that he likes it. I'm tempted to check out SmackDown and see if it's better than it was 8 months ago. Again,
months
and the
ago?
the problem for me is all the payoffs are on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the payoffs
Yeah.
are on pay-per-view.
They
And
don't.
so-
I don't. They saw the WWE Network. That's
Yeah.
still available.
I'm not paying for the WWE Network though. You
Well, no,
know,
I'm just saying. I mean, if you think about that, yeah, I think if I maybe it's gone up. When it first started, it was only $10 a month, and you got all the pay-per-views.
Mm.
Better than paying $50. If you wanted
Yes.
to watch all of them. Now, again, if you're not a fan, I wouldn't pay the $10 either. But I mean, if you're a semi fan, where you don't have, I mean, again, you could always go to a bar too and ask them, hey, could you put the pay-per-view on? But a lot of times, I mean, to be honest with you, I watch, again, I told you I watch YouTube. I think NXT might be better than WWE right now. And then
Yeah.
NXT is supposed to be the minor league
Well-
thing, of everything. There's like the stars are down there that are going to come back to the card down the road or something like that.
well, the problem with NXT is that when they do bring those guys up, they change the characters.
Yeah.
And so the guys that are building a fan base down in NXT get brought up to the main roster, and they change who they are. And it's impossible to keep fans interested in if you're going to change who the characters are.
Yep.
It's incredibly
Adam,
frustrating.
You said he wasn't going to pay for WWE Network, but
Correct.
there's nothing out there. It's called Peacock.
Yeah, I'm
That's
still not paying for Peacock.
And WWE Network is free on Peacock.
Yeah, but I'm still not paying $5 a month for Peacock for one thing.
That's NBC.
For one program every
Well-
I just can't justify $5. I know it's only $5, but still, I mean that's a pack of smokes. Come on.
Right.
I use it for Sunday Night Football when they play on NBC.
I pay for cable, so I just watch it on my TV.
Hey,
Ugh. That's my thing is like, and then I'm
got
not paying.
Roku device. I got a Roku device, so
Roku's cool. Roku's cool.
Yeah.
I used to sell those things, Joe, when I worked at Office Depot. We used to sell those things at Office Depot.
and
So.
I like my Roku. I can get a bunch of good stuff on it.
Right.
I got an Amazon Fire Stick, so I
Uh-huh.
just got one of those recently.
So
so
you know
that's
what
nice.
you know what I'm talking about. They got some good stuff on there.
I mean, I'm a cable kid. I have been my whole life, but I do have a Fire Stick in case. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't all the Thursday night games going to be on Amazon anyway?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have Prime though, right, to watch it. So I'm going to have to pay $14.
Not necessarily. You can download an app from
If
from
it's
the
on the
Google Play
NFL
Store.
Network, I'll put it on the NFL Network. If it's on the NFL Network, I have that.
No.
You can download an app from the Google Play Store that you can watch any NFL games on.
That's not in your market.
I have
But-
one of those, Gerald. I have one. I think it's
I have
called
my way too.
Sports or something like that. Yeah, I have it.
I have
Just
my way
stream
as
As long
well.
as it's not in your market, yeah.
But the thing is, though, I heard when you stream, you can't get regular channels.
Yeah,
Your local-
Certain ones, Lou, you can get certain streaming services will give you your local channels.
but now
Yeah.
with Sling, you can get an antenna that you can hook up to your box that will give you your local channels.
An antenna. What's that?
Huh? An antenna?
Never heard of an antenna.
Like what ants have? An antenna?
Yeah.
I know what an antenna is. I know what an
That's
antenna
that went
is.
with the Stone
You
Age.
gotta just get it right, and then you gotta move the round thing and turn the
Aluminum-
knob.
Uh-huh.
Put aluminum foil on it. Put aluminum
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the game, you gotta stand there for 3 hours just holding it and stay incredibly still, otherwise it goes out.
This is an antenna.
Yes.
This is a newer
Mhm.
modern antenna.
Now, that's
Yeah, I have-
typically
I have
what
one over-
I saw.
I have one in the corner somewhere. It didn't really work here, so
It
No.
reminds
I
me,
got-
you guys know the movie 61 about Roger Maris hitting
Yes.
one home runs, where they're in the Mickey Mantle's in the hospital and he's got his teammate holding the antenna as Mickey as he hits the 60. Oh, hold it right there! Hold it right there! I can't see it. So yeah, it reminds me of the whole antenna. thing.
yeah, definitely.
I got
Uh.
this one, then I have one up on the wall.
There you go.
Hmm.
I was going to ask you guys. You guys want to take a look at the MLB standings of where everyone's at?
Why not?
The
Yeah, we can do that.
standings. The
Yeah.
season is winding. I think there's 50 games left during the
Something like
regular
that.
season.
40.
I don't. I forget. I think.
The postseason schedule came out
So
yesterday
let's
as well.
look at the standings. Lou, I did see that. Yeah, that. Well, it's a different scenario with the extra wild card team this year.
Mhm.
Yep. It starts on the
So right
7th.
now in the division, so in the American League East, right now, the Yankees have a 10-game lead on both the Rays and the Blue Jays. Both have identical records at 62 and 54. The Yankees are 73 and 45. The Baltimore Orioles are 61 and 57. They're only 2 games back. And then the Red Sox are at even 500 at 59 and 59. They're 14 games back. So right now, the Yankees have the lead there in the Central. The Guardians have a 1-game lead on the Twins, 2.5 on the White Sox. That's a tight
Insane.
division right now.
I'm
That's
saying don't sleep on the Sox. I think the Sox are going to
I was
steal that
saying-
division.
Don't sleep on the Brewers either.
Yep. And then the Royals and the Tigers are down there. Kansas
Yeah,
City's
don't
15 and
remind
a half games. The Tigers are 19 out. The West, the Astros have basically locked that division up. They're up 11 and a half games on the Mariners. And then below them, Texas, Anaheim, and Oakland are all way far behind, 23, 25. The A's are 33 and a half games out of first place. Right now.
Get rid of that team.
Did you hear about them firing their
Yeah, fired. Yeah,
Yeah.
They
Yep.
fired everybody, man.
everybody.
They cleaned house.
The
I'm
hoping-
NL.
me being a Rangers fan, I hope that turns that team around.
Like I told you on your show, the Ranger faithful have to be patient. It's not going to be instantaneous.
I know.
Sure, I gotta ask you a question about your Rangers. How comes you
Okay.
guys went from playing at the ballpark at Arlington to an indoor stadium in Texas? Don't tell me the heat thing. I don't want to hear that garbage.
Yeah.
No,
It's hot.
It's a money thing. The only thing I can think of is the money thing.
I just asked that question because I know the Rangers moved to an indoor stadium, and I'm curious on why, because they use the heat to their advantage when the teams that weren't used to that kind of heat will come play in Arlington. I was shocked when I watched Zach Campbell, another YouTuber, being that he was in Texas. It's indoors. I'm like, when did the Rangers go indoors? I never even knew were even going inside. But
Yeah, they call that the ballpark.
Yeah, I remember. And that was a beautiful baseball stadium in Arlington. That was a beautiful baseball stadium.
No, they call the new one is called the park.
Oh, it's called the park. Okay.
Well, it was. The thing about it is, it's 109 in the shade in Arlington in August.
No shade there.
And the thing about it is, the thing about it is beer costs $9. I think, and when you have a bad baseball team, it's hard to draw fans on a Wednesday afternoon or a Wednesday evening. Wednesday evening, a Thursday afternoon. If you have a nice facility that's fun to come watch a baseball game in, that's air conditioned, it's you can get a ticket. Let's say $35, right? And it's $35 for a ticket in the nosebleeds. I'm not saying like first base, on 2 rows off the field, but 30 rows back in left field. It's still when you're playing in Arlington, when you're playing at the outdoor stadium, it's 109 behind behind the score or in front of the scoreboard, and that's the only shade of the ballpark, and beer is still $9. Well, those $9, how many $9 beers can you afford?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have and the team isn't very good, and more often than not, you're not going to have a good team. So as an incentive to come to the park to have to draw more fans, you go with the indoor model. Plus, when it does rain down there, it's monsoon season.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have 2 weeks without a cloud, but you're on the road 10 of those 12 days.
True.
But the 4 games the 6 games you have at home before you go back out on the road are all rain. 3 of them are rained out because it's Texas, and this is our yearly rains.
The Texas flood.
Yeah.
Nothing too. We have a saying down here in Texas: if you don't like the weather, stick around.
It'll change. You don't like the weather? Wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
Because we can go from 100. We can go from 100 plus degrees to 70.
Yep.
Like that.
I'll take 70.
But
Yeah.
then
70 is time of the year too.
It can be sunny and pretty and beautiful. And all of a sudden it just opens up and pours down rain.
Yeah.
it could go from 101 and all the way down to 76, and then but that was 1 o'clock at 5:30. Now
It
it's
could be back up to 100.
and it's muggy as hell.
Yeah.
It rains just long enough to be muggy as hell.
This past February, Valentine's Day, surprised me. We got hit with a major snowstorm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a serious snowstorm.
I mean, it shut the whole state down.
Couldn't handle it, huh?
No.
Yeah.
People down here don't know how to drive in it.
They're like, this is snow. Oh my goodness. We're in big trouble here. Oh, like, shut up.
3 snowflakes. Shut it down. Shut it down. We're done.
Oh, flurry. Oh, everything's canceled. Call the
National Guard.
Call the National Guard.
Or
The Army.
steps.
Call your mother.
We have snow that deep.
It's all gone by noon.
Yeah.
7 inches.
Yeah.
The
Call your mother. Call my lawyer. Oh, God.
the National League East, the Mets are up 4.5 games on the Braves.
Not a big lead at all.
I think the Mets are fixing to collapse.
The Marlins are 24 back. The Nationals are 37.5 games back. In the Central, I think that's the tight division. Milwaukee is 3 games behind the Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals
Central away.
The Cubs are 16 back. The Reds are 19.5 back. The Pirates are 21 games back right now. And in the West, I think the Dodgers have wrapped up the division. The Padres are 16.5 games back. The Giants are 22.5 back. Arizona and Colorado are below 500. The wild card right now, as we speak, the division leaders are Houston. They have the best record in the American League at 77-43. The Yankees and the Guardians are 1-2-3. The wild card teams are as follows. Seattle holds the top spot. Toronto and Tampa Bay are tied for the second spot. Minnesota, Baltimore, the White Sox are only 2.5. Well, the Twins are 1 game back. The Orioles are 2 games back. The White Sox are 2.5. And lo and behold, the Boston Red Sox are still 4 games out. That's amazing that we still have a shot.
Well, the thing is, though, that, you know,
Isn't there a football game on tonight?
yes,
Yeah,
there
it's on
is.
ESPN.
Bears and Seahawks.
There's
That's
just
on
scored.
now, right?
Yep.
It's
I'll
nine.
go
It's
the
10,
Raiders Vikings.
I think it's 10-0 Chicago. 10-0 Chicago. Yeah, all about to. The Dodgers,
I didn't
Mets,
get
and
the-
Cardinals are the division leaders in the National League. Atlanta holds the top wild card spot. Then it's Philly and the Padres, and then the Brewers are only 1.5 out, and the Giants are 6 games out. So don't wanna get the Giants out quite yet, but
I think the Mets. I think the Mets missed the playoffs.
the Mets.
I don't know about that.
I was going to say they have the division lead. That would take a lot of.
They have the division lead, but
Max
Atlanta's
Scherzer.
creeping up on them.
They got Max Scherzer. I don't think that's I'm not the one player that makes a big difference.
And DeGrom.
Yeah, and DeGrom, correct.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, with, you know,
Great.
when
So
the
good.
Padres got Tatis, they were thinking that was going to be, you know, they try to make a serious run to catch the Dodgers. But since he got there, they haven't done a thing.
Soto.
Soto's the one they picked up.
Soto.
Tatis got suspended 80 games for
Yeah,
using
And
steroids.
But I mean, Soto, he went,
For,
you know,
to treat, he used steroids to treat his ringworm.
yeah. I gotta check my room right now. So
I think what happened is he Googled the wrong thing, the wrong spelling. He
yeah.
came up with that to get out of they caught me. I better come up with something. And the whole ringworm thing was the reason what they came up with. So yeah. So,
I gotta go check my ringworm too. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, I mean, when Soto, you know, went there, they thought maybe they were going to have a legitimate chance to catch the Dodgers. Since then, nothing.
Well, when you have
Bad.
Soto, Tatis, and Machado in the same lineup, you think, hey, we can catch it. But the Dodgers have 9 good hitters in their lineup. So
Yeah,
you think
obviously.
that 3 were going to make a big difference? The
I mean,
Dodgers have
he wanted out Washington so badly because you know the Nationals have been a disaster
Joke.
from the start of the beginning of the season. So they thought, I'll try to go for a contending team. And since you got there, you have been contending.
Well,
Yeah,
then,
they're fine.
so how the playoff structure, Lou, you could tell them is it's the third best division team against the top wild card team, and then the 2 lower seeds play each other. So how that works right now in the American League, that would be Cleveland against who is it? Cleveland against what would I just say? Cleveland against Seattle. No, is that right? Cleveland against Seattle, and Tampa Bay will play Toronto. Is that how that would work now?
Yeah.
Something like that,
Something like that. I think it'd be
or is it Cleveland against Toronto?
no and
Bay
Tampa.
against Seattle?
Yeah, I think that's
Seattle.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like the 3 versus 6 to 4 versus 5. I think
Right.
that's how that breaks down. And then
Yeah.
of course the Astros and the Yankees would have a bye in the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Dodgers and the Mets, I think.
Right now, yeah. I expect
we
that.
already know about Washington being suspended 11 games.
I know it's not
Oh,
breaking
my
news
opinion
anymore.
on Deshaun Watson. I
Yeah.
found that out today. We can get to that. Yeah, we can talk about the NFL for the last. I don't know if my guy has come on or not. I sent him the link, so I'm waiting for him to pop in here. But
Okay.
I
was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he forgot. I gave him the link
Right.
though, so I know that. When I sent it to you guys this morning, I made sure that he got the link too.
I know at 5:14 this morning.
Was it that
guess
early?
6:14 my time.
Yeah.
Mm.
6:14 my time.
5:14 here because I was up watching TV and I hear my thing go beep 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 beep. Like who in the world?
I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every Thursday, and before I go to work, I kind of get everything set up so I don't forget.
Right up.
I get to work and I get busy, so I'm like, I'll just do it now. I get like 5 minutes. I wake up, like, okay, I'm gonna do it now. Get it out of the way. So,
I was already at work working when you sent it to me this morning, so I didn't even realize you sent it that early.
I was up watching TV. I normally don't go. Sometimes I don't go to bed until 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Because of my
My
depression.
roommate just came in with like lettuce wraps. Sorry guys, those look good. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Because of my depression, this time I don't go to bed until 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Wow.
I used to work overnight, so when I worked overnights, there were a lot of times where I wouldn't be in bed, and I'd be up long. I'd be going to bed long after the sun got up.
Yeah.
Joe, what time do you normally wake up when you go to bed between 5:30 and 6 in the morning? Get up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Something like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on whether you can sleep or not. If you can't sleep, then
Yeah.
Believe me, if I can't sleep, I got something over here that'll help me, and that's sleep aids my doctor gave me.
Oh yeah.
Them little suckers don't play.
Yeah. Well, before we get to the NFL, and I'll answer my
I
question.
try not to take them because they can become habit forming.
They can be. Yes, they
So
can
that's
be.
why I only use them when I really, 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 really need to.
Right.
Before I get to the Deshaun Watson thing, obviously college football is how many days away are we away, Bud, from college
16
football?
days.
16.
Actually, less.
16 long days.
There we go.
Technically, there will be games next weekend.
I'll be attending my first high school football game in 22 years tomorrow night.
Ah.
Oh, you gonna love high school football. Them boys.
I can't wait.
Them boys play their hearts out, man.
I'll tell you what, if I can somehow go live on Facebook, I'll do it. I'll kind of give you guys an insight of what it's like to be in the booth. I was gonna say a couple things about.
I've been to a bunch of high school football games, so
It's a religion where you're at, Gerald.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's a religion in Texas. In Texas,
down in
yeah.
Texas on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Especially up in Odessa, Midland, up in there.
Yeah.
That town shuts down on Friday for high school football up there.
Yep.
And don't dare to order something and try to get it on a Friday afternoon. That ain't happening.
No.
You
I was
heard
gonna
of the
say, not
you
so
heard of
much.
the movie Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, I watched that movie many times.
That was filmed down
And the
here.
series.
That was filmed in
Well,
Odessa, Midland.
I was gonna say that the Permian Panthers are actually a real high school football team.
Yeah.
That team exists in real life. I looked them up.
The
They've won
Odessa
numerous
Permian.
state championships. Yep.
Odessa Permian.
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
It was a book, a movie, and a series.
Correct.
And back then when that movie was filmed, Odessa Permian, the high school football team, was a powerhouse.
Gerald, did they go undefeated one year?
2
I think
years.
2 years in a row they went undefeated.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep.
They win the state championship 2 years in a row?
Yep.
Okay. And trust me, guys, if you're not from Texas, to win a state championship in that state is a huge achievement.
Yes.
Like winning a national championship in college football. That's how big the state title is in the state of Texas when it comes to high school football. So
I mean, you got teams up in Odessa, high school teams in Odessa. You got them here in Austin, Dallas.
Capital of the world.
The two schools down here in Austin that have known powerhouses is Westlake and Lake Travis.
Mm.
And Drew Brees came from Lake Travis.
Ah.
He's a Lake Travis prodigy.
we've got them sprinkled through the state of Florida. There's a couple teams in this area, a couple teams in North
Cleveland
Florida.
won, actually. Let's get that update. Cleveland won.
So
Sorry about that, guys.
And
I was going to say real quick, get into NCAA football. Not so much football, but Dick Vitale is cancer free. I saw an article. I saw that today. I had to bring that up. Prayers. That's awesome. Dickie V.
Dickie V.
You know, that's the class of college basketball.
y'all know that the Dallas High School State Championship is played at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I guarantee you, Gerald, too, I bet you it's almost sold out, too.
It
I
is
guarantee it's nearly sold out.
every year. The Dallas High School state title at AT&T Stadium is sold out.
I believe that.
Living room only.
I believe that. In all reality, I do believe that.
Yeah.
You can come down here to some of our high school football games in Austin, and you can hardly get into the stadium.
Right.
My
Down here in Texas, high school football is second to religion.
Yes.
Yep. Its own religion.
yeah, it is really.
Its own religion
It's-
in Texas. Look how many movies they made about it. Friday Night Lights, Varsity Blues. Those are all about Texas high school football.
We are Marshall.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
another one.
versus college football.
That's college football.
But still Texas.
So,
no,
yeah.
Marshall's not in Texas.
No, Marshall's not in Texas.
Is that in Texas?
No,
No, it's in West Virginia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's
Oh,
in.
sorry. My fault.
Yeah, I think it's in.
Hmm.
Speaking of college football, Jeremy Pruitt, former head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, they're facing 13 NCAA violations.
Oh, boy.
Bad news for Tennessee.
13.
oh crap! Oh,
13 violations.
Holy
even the coach.
Moses!
He's not even the coach there anymore. He's gone. The former UCF coach and their AD both went. First, the AD left, and then recruited the youth coach from UCF to Tennessee.
That kind of reminds me of the Ed Bergeron situation at LSU. He left before they could fire him.
Yep.
Brian Kelly's the head coach there now in LSU.
Yep.
Mhm.
I expect good things at LSU this year.
Yeah.
I again wrote an article this week, guys, about the Gators and how I predicted them going 8-4. NGSC, if you want to read that article, NGSCsports.com, head over there. I predicted 8-4. I'm sticking to that.
Okay.
I think the 4 losses come to Utah, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Georgia. Those are my 4 now.
Especially Georgia. Especially
Talking
Georgia.
about Florida, Rich was on my show saying that Florida State, that FSU was going to be LSU.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I
That's
don't
hard.
know. I don't know.
Well, the guy to ask that is Rich. Call Rich. He's a Knowles fan. Call
That's
him.
what he was saying.
That's
He
what
was
he was
saying that-
saying.
Oh, he was saying that.
Yeah. He
Okay.
says they're gonna go down to the Superdome and beat them in New Orleans. I was like, oh
Is that their first game?
yeah,
The
yeah.
second game of the season.
No, it's
Oh,
the first game.
Knowles Open. The Knowles Open against LSU this year?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
September 4th. It's the Sunday night game on Memorial Day weekend.
I have a bet with him that if FSU beats Florida, I have to wear an FSU hat. For the
Okay.
show. And if they win or I win, he's got to wear a Gator gear. So we'll see how that goes into the season. I think for FSU purposes, I think their coach is on the hot seat. I think if they have another
You really
subpar
think Jeff Frost
season,
is on the?
it's not Jeff Frost. It's Mike Norvell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Norvell.
I thought you were talking about. I was thinking the Bulls, not the Knowles. My bad.
Oh no, that's Jeff. I don't think Jeff Scott gets fired. I mean, they got to give him a chance. And after Charlie Strong, really, him and Willie Taggart basically drug the program through the mud. And again, Charlie Strong had a great season. He had, we were 10-2 under Charlie Strong. His first season here. But after that,
Right.
it was shambles. I mean, the first year I was a credential member, the Bulls won 7 games in a row. We were jumping for joy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're back. We lost the last 6 games, including a home game and a bowl game. We lost at home to the Thundering Herd of all Marshall. We lost to Marshall at home to end the season. So,
Yeah.
Mike Norvell, I think it's going to be interesting because the Noles just are still paying Jimbo Fisher. They're still paying Willie Taggart. I don't know how many more coaches they can pay if they get rid of Norvell. How many more of them can you pay? You know what I mean?
I honestly don't know.
And who would you bring in? That's my question. If you do get rid of Norvell, no one wants that job anymore. It's not so lucrative when it was Bobby Bowden.
Well,
It's
no,
not
it
job
has
is-
to be Dion. Dion's the only guy you can get.
Yeah, well, Dion being a yes.
Being
Dion
a
would-
Knoll, Dion would. I think he'd jump on that job,
Dion would be, if
and
they
he
bring
would
him
be.
there-
He would be a super popular pick too.
Well, here's the thing, but I heard this. Now that you have UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten, and the Big Ten just got a $7 billion
$7 billion,
TV
7
dollar deal.
8-year deal with Fox,
Yeah.
NBC, and
Yeah.
CBS.
CBS.
So
But CBS
let's say, for example, here's what I heard: if they can get Notre Dame to
Right.
come to the Big
God, I
Ten,
hope not.
that's the rumors. They break their contract with NBC because they have rights.
Well, they
to
wouldn't have to, because NBC's got
Oh,
a
that's
deal
right.
with.
the Big Ten. So
That-
so here's what I've heard through the rumors that the SEC then would go get FSU, Miami, and Clemson from the ACC.
Hmm.
That would
That
be,
would work.
That would be the jump. And then I was joking around. I'm like, well, that's interesting because the FSU Florida game has always been an out-of-conference game. If they came to the SEC, that's an in-conference game. That
Yep.
could mean much more than it means now.
Right.
So, and again, this year, usually that's the game that's on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. This year, that game's on Black Friday under the
Right.
lights in Tallahassee. I wish if the USF game wasn't in Orlando, was in Tampa, I most likely probably would be going back to the FSU Florida game.
Oh, that was a catch.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited about college football. I'm ready to
Oh God,
get
I'm
back
so ready.
I'm
Get
ready.
back
I'm
to
ready.
games. Get up
I'm
every
ready to
Saturday morning
Next
at
week.
9 a.m. and turn on College Game Day and watch them make their picks. And
Yeah.
that's
I'm
the best part of my.
I'm so ready to see what my Longhorns are going to do this year.
I
Yes.
just can't wait to Colorado State. Let's go beat Colorado State and go from there.
Right.
Gerald,
Right.
I really honestly think they're going to be 8-4,
Competitive?
9-3 this year.
Mm.
I really think the Texas is going to have a decent season this year.
That was a catch. Wow.
That was
So-
a catch.
Wasn't it?
That's
Do they
what
call it
I
incomplete pass?
yeah, they called it incomplete on the field, but he caught that. I don't know. I would have challenged that. You'd have won that challenge.
Yeah.
But I still like to know how he caught it going down like that, though.
It's a hell of a catch. I never saw that ball hit the turf.
Me neither.
You want to say?
But my thing, looking forward to this year.
Catch.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a catch.
I thought it was a catch.
But they called
I
it
don't know.
incomplete on the field.
I don't know, man. I would have challenged. I like challenging in the preseason just to gauge the referee. But no, looking forward to college football this year. My Wolverines. We don't have a really stacked schedule. It's not crazy hard.
Like I said, the only team that really scares me this year that we play is Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Everything
good.
else, I think, everything else is out in front of you.
Yeah.
In my opinion. We play
Now- Oklahoma, that can go either
Oklahoma's-
way.
Oklahoma's beatable.
Mm.
I expect Oklahoma to take a step back. Especially with a new coach, new quarterback. I don't think Oklahoma could struggle for a couple years till they reset themselves.
Now,
Going into-
honestly, I have a question for you and Bradley. Okay? honestly, do y'all think Texas can hang with Alabama?
No, not yet.
Mm-mm. No.
No.
I think that they have to
There's very few teams that can hang with Alabama right now.
and define hang.
Keep it to a court. Keep it to a close score.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, keep it close in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible.
Well,
Anything's possible.
Oh wait, it was Texas A&M that did it. Texas A&M they beat Alabama in a game. I think it was last year. I mean, that was a complete shock right there.
Yeah, it's the first time in
They
over
beat
100.
Alabama up in the home state in
Tuscaloosa.
Alabama's home field.
In
thought it was-
Tuscaloosa,
I
that's a
thought
hard
Even
thing.
bigger.
And A&M's got to go there this year too.
Yeah, yep.
A&M's got to
Yep.
go to
Hey,
Tuscaloosa.
I was
They're gonna
like
get crushed.
when it was up with A&M won, and I'm like, what the bleep just happened?
What the hell?
Gerald,
What the hell?
honestly, if Texas can keep it within 10 or 14 points of losing, that's got to be a win
That's a
in my
win.
book for you guys.
That's a
If
win.
If you get blown out by 35 plus points, that's bad.
That's an ugly loss. And that's what I'm
But-
saying.
Yeah.
I think they can hang without. Can they hang with Alabama? Sure, anybody can
I-
hang.
Any given Saturday.
Well,
But at the end of the day, is how much are they going to blow you out in the end of the game? Because that's what Alabama
Yeah.
does.
When do they blow you out?
They'll
When
play,
do they blow you?
they'll dangle you for a little bit, then they drop you. Then
I
that's when
think what's going to happen is Nick Saban's going to come down here to Austin and underestimate Sarkisian.
No.
former assistant.
Nick Saban wouldn't take a high school full of toddlers. Nick Saban doesn't estimate backgammon with his children.
I was
Nick
gonna
Saban-
say.
Nick Saban is that guy. Nick Saban's a dude. He's that dude. Nick Saban is not going to underestimate Texas.
Yeah,
Can
but he
Texas-
got
can
beat-
Texas
he got
play
beat by
ball?
two of his he got beat by two of his former coaches, Kirby Smart and Jimbo Fisher.
Those are the only two that have been able
Yeah.
to beat it.
But they shouldn't have lost to A&M. And Georgia was the best team of college football last year.
Well, put it to you this way, Gerald. In the SEC championship game, Nick Saban beat Kirby. Then Kirby beat him in the national title game. So when it meant more, Kirby beat him. But again, that's the prediction that I've seen from all the SEC guys on YouTube and what I've read. That's the SEC title game. It's Alabama and
So
Georgia.
you're thinking that Texas, the Horns are going to go 9-3.
I have them at 11-1.
And the only reason I say that is you were talking about Oklahoma. For some off the wall reason, I don't know why. I would fear OSU over Oklahoma. I'm just saying. I
Now,
think
the only
Oklahoma
team
State
that-
is knowing that Texas and Oklahoma are leaving the conference next year or the year after. I think OSU's like, you know what, you sons of bitches, don't forget about us. And Mike Gundy's a hell of a football coach. So
Oh,
we'll
he
see.
is.
I could be totally wrong, and Texas blows them out of the water. So I
But
don't.
that's the thing about OSU is every other year is they play good. Last year they played good. This year they're due for a step back.
Right.
And this
And that's my biggest thing about OSU is that every other year they seem to stumble, and they go 8-4 in a year where they should go 12-0.
Right.
In a year where they're primed to take that next step and compete on the national stage and play against an Alabama or a Georgia in a playoff game, beat Oklahoma, beat Texas, win the Big 12, beat Baylor, and play in a major bowl, play in a New Year's Six bowl, play in a playoff game. They stumble. They lose those three games. They lose to Texas. They lose to Oklahoma. They lose to Baylor. They go 9-3. So I'm pessimistic on the
Cowboys.
yeah.
Okay, what three games do you see us losing?
Me?
No, Brad.
I think Alabama, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. I think those are the three games you lose. That's it. You could beat Kansas State. You could beat West Virginia. You could beat Kansas. I hope the hell you can beat Kansas.
Can't lose to Kansas twice in a row.
I think Jordan. I mean, Alabama's going to be kind of, but you know what? The good thing sometimes about losing a game, and even if you lose bad, sometimes a good ass kicking wakes you up.
Motivates you.
Yes.
And they can use that motivation after week 1.
Yep.
Go, okay, I don't tell me who do they play in week 2? Who do they have?
Texas. Alabama. Alabama's week 2.
Yeah, week 1
Who's
we
week
opened up against LA Monroe.
Monroe.
They'll beat Louisiana Monroe. Okay.
Then
Who's week 3? Who's week 3?
then after that is Alabama. I can pull up
UT Austin.
UT Austin.
UTSA.
UT
UTSA.
Austin. Yeah, UT Austin's. That's. I
Or
mean,
San Antonio, actually.
yeah, San Antonio.
Sorry.
That's the Roadrunners, right? That's who
Yep.
they are.
Yeah.
They were good for Conf USA last year.
They were good. They were a good team in Conference USA. That'll be. I don't think Texas will lose to them. That might be one of those. Might be one of those games
that's a
that
trap.
could be interesting. Yeah, trap game.
That's a trap game.
Correct.
They could very much fall on there. They could go in and play Alabama tough. They could beat Alabama and then lose to the Roadrunners.
Yep.
Right in that high of beating Alabama and laying egg against the Roadrunners. So it's a game you got to watch out for.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think, and I could be totally wrong, and they could win every game except Alabama. That might be.
And
the only
that's where I have them at.
season.
This is the Horn schedule.
Mhm.
Okay.
Louisiana Monroe is number 1. They'll win that game. That should be an easy
Okay.
win right off
They
the
got-
bat.
They got LA Monroe coming in. That's September the 3rd.
That's at home in Austin.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Then they got September the 10th. They got Alabama coming in. That's going to be in Austin.
Yep. Surprisingly.
They got UTSA on the 17th.
On the road?
That's going to be in Austin.
Oh, they're at home again. Okay.
Open up 3 games at home.
Then we go to Lubbock and play Tech.
Who do you play after Tech?
Who play after Tech?
At the Tech, West Virginia.
That Tech game's a trap game. That Tech game's a trap game.
Then
Are they
Oklahoma.
Are they playing in West Virginia? Or are they playing at home?
They're playing here in Austin.
Oh, then okay.
Wow.
So that's
Then they
4 of
go-
the 5 games are at home. Wow, that's a
Then
interesting
they
start. To the season.
then we're back. Then we go up to Dallas for the Red River rivalry.
Yep.
Then we come back for Iowa State.
Okay, that's a
Nah.
winnable game.
That's one. They've lost their quarterback, so yeah, I think
Lost
that's
quarterback, lost the running back. They should be
Cyclones
very
are down.
Then we go up to Stillwater to play Oklahoma State.
Yeah, see, that's for some off-the-wall reason. I think that game is going to be very hard for the Longhorns to win. But again, I could be wrong, and they go up there and blow the Cowboys out of the water. So yeah,
kind of
Then we're back for Kansas State.
should
they
win.
should.
They
They
should
should
win.
beat
They should be Kansas State going away.
They should. Yep.
Then we got TCU at home.
TCU hasn't been good for the last 5 years.
The Horned
Then
Frogs.
we go up to Lawrence and play Kansas.
Got to beat
Dash.
them. There's no excuse. You can't lose to them twice in a row.
Yep.
Then the last game of the season, we're back home to play Baylor.
And I think you can beat Baylor.
Yeah, the Bears are.
I think Baylor's overrated.
Definitely.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, 9-3, 8-4, 11-1, 10-2. It could be any of those scenarios. playing
Right
out.
now, I have them at 11-1. I have them at 11.
I'm going to go with Brad and say 9-3.
Yeah, I mean,
Man.
I could be
I'm
totally
not.
wrong, and they go undefeated for all I know.
I'm not.
We'll have to
Here's
see.
my biggest concern about the whole Texas team is that defense.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
that defense is rebuilt
Yep.
with
That's what you
freshmen.
got to do.
So how well will the freshmen step up? Now, yeah, we got some senior starters on that defense, but not many. I think
Well,
we
that's
probably-
where
we
start
probably got
comes
about
in.
3 or
And
4 senior starters on that defense.
Yeah, that's where your coaching has to step up.
yeah, I was gonna say that's where Sarkisian.
That's where
steps
game
in.
planning, scheming.
No, I'm
Putting
talking
the-
about defense.
Yeah, plug and play.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, head coach.
Head coach, defensive coordinator, your
Correct.
position
Gotta
coaches.
Yep.
You know, if you can win, to win a football game, you got to run the ball hit your shots, and play good defense.
Right.
That's the formula to win every football game. Run the ball, hit your shots, and play good defense. Be smart, be fundamental. Don't take bad penalties. Don't get, like we were talking about on Gerald's show. We were talking about the Cowboys, and I can live with a player who gets a holding penalty. I need to know why you're getting a holding penalty. Like, if you're holding at the point of attack because you're out of position, that's not a penalty I can live with. But if you're holding because you're trying to keep our quarterback from getting killed, okay, we can live with that. We'll work with it. We'll figure it out. We'll get you some help, whatever you need. But if you're offsides, if you're illegal formation, if you're false starting, illegal snaps, procedural penalties, things that are, thinking penalties, we can't have those. Just can't have them.
And I think that quarterback that we got from that came in from the portal from Ohio State, what's his name?
I thought he died years ago.
Quinn. Don't remember his last name. You know who I'm talking about?
The name seems.
Starting quarterback for the.
His last name starts with an E. Ewers, I think. Quinn. But I think he's going to do okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right.
Hey, but Adam, I'm looking at Michigan's schedule right now.
Yep, I just had it pulled up.
The big question is, can they beat State? They're at home. Or no, sorry, they're on the road. Or they're at home. They're at home.
Michigan State, that's an in-town rivalry game.
It's cross-state rivalry, man.
Michigan,
100 miles.
Michigan State beat them last year, so that's the reason I say.
Okay, so
that game could go either way. I'm gonna call that a toss-up game.
Have to beat, we'll beat Colorado State, we'll beat Hawaii, we'll beat Connecticut, we'll beat Maryland, right? 4-0 to start the year. Then we have to go to
Iowa's going to be the Iowa. I don't know what it is about the state of Iowa. They you don't think that they're great athletes.
We have to go to Iowa City.
There's a lot of good. They have a good college football team. Who's their head coach in Iowa?
Kurt France.
He's been there forever.
Yeah,
he's been there forever.
Iowa. Iowa shouldn't be a problem.
Indiana shouldn't be an issue either.
Indiana will beat Indiana. Penn State, I'm not expecting a lot from Penn State. I really don't think Penn State's all that good this year.
You got them at home. That's a good thing too.
Yeah, we get them at home. We get State at the house, and we got to take care of business.
You guys should beat Rutgers easily.
We should beat State. We should beat Rutgers. We'll beat Nebraska. We'll beat Illinois.
Who's gonna beat themselves?
And the granddaddy of them all, the game.
And then there's that one at the end of the season.
Yeah, that one at the end of the year that's always there.
I'm going to say Michigan goes 10-2.
12-0.
10-2.
11-1.
12-0.
10-2.
There's no. This is it.
Wow.
This is our year. We have to get it done.
What two
no
teams
excuses.
are losing to?
I'm going to say lose to Penn State.
Okay.
And
so Michigan
Iowa.
State, Ohio State. Iowa's
we think
Michigan. Ooh.
Michigan State.
I'd trade those wins. I'll take that. I'll take 10-2 and beat Ohio State at the end of the year and ruin their year.
The only one thing how it shows is the rival Michigan State.
But
so the only team you're going to lose to is the Spartans. Okay.
Now
I look at my team.
I'm going to be like Brad. 10-2. I could be wrong. They could do better, or they could do worse.
Yeah.
I have to believe. I have to believe because this is it. This is it. This is all the chips are down. Because if we don't get it done this year,
same way for the Horns. Everything is on the table right now.
Everything we want is out in front of us. All we have to do is reach out and take it.
I think they go 11-1, and I think the only team they lose to is at the end of the season. I hate to say that. I know they beat Ohio State last year, but now you're in Columbus. And
we haven't won there in 22 years, so we got to go get it
that's
done.
a hard place to win. But if it comes down to them, they're both undefeated, which I think 9 times out of 10, that's the way it's going to play out. It would be great to see Michigan knock them out of the Big Ten championship or whatever it might be. Possibly knock them out of the playoff. That would be great
They
too.
should knock them out of the playoff.
But I mean that's such a hard game for Michigan every time they go to Columbus. They should have won it a few years ago when that stupid 4th down call went their way.
I would
We all
love,
know
I
he was
would
hurt.
love to see it 2 years in a row where Alabama gets knocked out of the playoffs. That would be my dream come true.
Alabama got one to the national championship last year.
I know what I'm talking about. If they get knocked out this year and next year, I'll be happy.
Oh wow, the SEC.
I don't know. That's asking for a lot.
That's you're. Yeah,
But
I mean, someone you have to have. I mean, Georgia
Hey,
obviously. Well, no, it can happen. I mean, it's shit. Anything. Can happen.
if
A&M
Texas
could be-
can,
Texas
if
A&M
A&M
could
and
be
Texas,
SEC West champion this year, for all I know. So there you go.
but that Iowa game, as we have to go to Iowa, but we have McNamara and McCarthy coming back. We have Corum and Edwards. We have Bell and Antrell Anthony. That offensive line is rebuilt. The defensive line is rebuilt. The linebacking core is rebuilt. We got returning most of our safeties. The only question I have going into this year is the defensive coordinator. That's the big question because we lost McDaniels to Baltimore.
And that's the same way with the Longhorns. We got 2 great running backs. We got Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson.
And again, as long as we just play Michigan football, we don't try to do anything cute and fancy.
Exactly.
Hit the hole and fall forward. Hit the hole and fall forward. Hit the hole and fall forward.
Yep.
And we don't get it. We don't play outside of ourselves. Don't take bad penalties. Play solid, fundamental, disciplined football. We'll be all right going to Columbus. And then the chips are on the table. And then you push them all in. You go all in to beat Ohio State yet again in Columbus because you haven't done it since 2000.
Yeah, that's the only game on the schedule I see Michigan having issues with. But again, then they can go down there.
That's why they play the games.
Sit out of the water down
Like
in.
they did last year.
So,
just like Brad said about the Horns, we could win those 3 games. He said we could lose.
absolutely.
We can finish 6 and 7, 7 and 6.
I hope not, but you're right. Because it's all going to depend on injuries and turnover and whatever happens during the season.
Bad penalties, man. Bad
And
penalties every time.
How well does the coach get the team ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
How do the
should
players?
Well, with you guys as coaches, you shouldn't be worrying about that. Sark and Harbaugh, it shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be an issue.
Sark is a former alcoholic.
No, I mean everyone has their mistakes in their lives, so
I mean that.
everyone has their vices. So,
But honestly, guys, do y'all think that Stark can get Texas back up to what?
Well, if he wants to keep his job, he's gonna have
I
to.
was gonna say he wants to keep his job. He's gonna have to.
Because Texas don't fool with you.
Nope. That is one university that does not fool around with coaches.
No.
You start losing, you're gone.
Goes
Hey,
wrong,
but
goes
I'm wrong.
wrong.
They didn't make Brown wrong,
Yep. And they've been
Yep.
paying for it ever since.
and they
Yep.
did Tom Herman wrong.
Really?
Yeah, Tom Herman was a mistake from the first.
I was gonna say Herman didn't
Well,
do very well. in
Herman,
Texas.
out of every year that Herman was there, we went to a bowl game. At least we went to a bowl game, and was undefeated in bowl games.
Yeah, but what game were you playing in? And that matters to the Texas faithful.
Now,
If you're playing in the RL Carriers Bowl every year and winning that game against a Purdue or, a Marshall, a 7-6 Marshall or an 8-4 Purdue,
now
that's not gonna.
I want to give Stark his time. I'm going to give him 3 to 4 years to build the team. Now at least give him that length of time.
Yeah, I agree. I look at what Dabo Swinney did in Clemson. It took him 9 years to actually build that program and get them where they are now.
Look how long it took Jimbo Fisher and A&M.
Yeah, look, we're one tackle away from being 11-1 last year, 11-1. Obviously, we didn't play good.
Look what Kirby Smart did for Georgia. Look how long it took Kirby Smart in Georgia.
I mean, and I gotta say about Harbaugh is everybody was ready to give up on him. I 7-8 years ago in 2014 when they first brought him in, I said, why? You guys are just gonna run him right out of town. I mean, you guys are so brutal. You're so unkind. Why would anyone want to come to this university? And I think it goes back to what you're saying about Florida State. Is you guys have no patience. You have no understanding. The thing that drives me crazy is, the other team gets to make plays, right? They're allowed to make plays.
Yeah.
Florida State reminds me of Texas.
In a way.
And I'll tell you why. The alumni and the boosters don't have any patience with a coach.
Nope.
You've got to give coaches time to bring in the right personnel, the right players, and build that team.
Mm-hmm. And there's also there is reasonable expectations for a coach to have, or for fans and for fans and boosters to have of what a coach is doing. I'm not saying that you can't go 4-8 every year for 4 straight years. You have to be improving. You have to show improvement. The biggest bugaboo for Harbaugh, just using my team as an example because it's the team I'm most familiar with, was he couldn't beat up Michigan State and Ohio State. Now this year he has a chance to beat everybody. There's no reason that we can't take, Michigan versus everybody. The chip we've been wearing for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They go out there and beat Iowa in Iowa, which we don't do very often. To beat Michigan State, to beat Penn State in back-to-back years for the first time since 2015, 2016, to go to Columbus and beat Columbus in Columbus for the first time in 22 years.
Yeah.
And to go back to the Big Ten championship against either Iowa, Wisconsin, or, Minnesota. And take care of business and be right back in the playoffs. And be in the thick of it.
Row the boat.
Right? Right off a cliff. And I know we didn't play good against Georgia. No excuses. We got beat. I'm not going to sit here and say anything about that. There wasn't bad calls. We just got beat. We got flat out outplayed. Now, what do you expect me to say about that? We just got outplayed. Was it disappointing? Yes. Was I embarrassed? It was a playoff game against Georgia, the eventual national champions. No. No, I wasn't embarrassed. I was proud of my boys for going out there and playing Georgia. We showed up and we played. Did we get beat? Yep. Did we get beat bad? Sure.
Yes.
But we got to play in the game. And that's all that matters. Let's get back. Let's do it again. Let's run it back. Unfinished business. Run it back.
There you go. That's what it's about.
So that's where I'm at on my team. Am I drinking the Kool-Aid? Sure, you can call me Jim Jones, but I'm on board. I'm on board. Let's get it done.
That means he's gonna die.
We're gonna win or die trying. Damn it, we're gonna win or die trying.
I'll die too.
With this being Stark's second year here at the 40 Acres, I'll be happy with a bowl game right now.
Right.
6 wins. I got to win 6.
And building for the future.
That would show a little bit of an improvement.
And not losing to Kansas would be good. Would be a good start. That'd be a good start.
Don't lose to the
Oklahoma.
You can lose to them. You can lose to them in basketball, just not in
right.
Basketball's not going to hurt you.
If we can beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and Alabama, we'd be sitting pretty.
I think it goes Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and Baylor. I think you can get those 3. If you get those 3, you can win the Big 12 with one loss to a number 1 Alabama, you can be sitting at 5 or 4 or 5 with a chance to play with a chance to go to the playoffs as the Big 12 champion.
I got my fingers crossed.
I know it is. I know it's only August 18th, and we're 2 weeks away from the actual start of the season.
But
And
I see what Sark can do with an offense.
And again, it goes back to what I say about. I've said this a lot about a lot of different coaches, is that you have to trust your coordinators. You bring those guys in to run your offense, to run your defense, to get your guys, quarterback coach, running back coach, wide receivers coach, special teams coach, DB coach, linebacker coach, offensive line, defensive line. You bring all those guys in. You have to trust those guys and let them do their job. Because if you micromanage those guys and you contradict them at every turn, and you go behind their back and you sabotage those guys, then the players, they don't respect the coaches, they don't respect you, and they do whatever the hell they want. And they make dumb plays, bad plays, and you get beat. Trust your coaches. Why'd you hire the guy if you didn't trust him? Let him do his job. And you worry about managing everything and let me do my job.
Exactly.
And I think that's a recipe. I think that's a recipe for success for most coaches. Like, you trust the process, man.
But again, like I said, I see what Sarkisian can do with an offense. He built Alabama's offense. It took him 2 years to get that get that offense to where he wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying this year that the Horns offense might be a little better.
And next year, watch out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we're gonna have Archie Manning coming in. We're gonna have that big running back from Florida coming in.
And then the year after that, you go to the SEC. So I see that as
the first 2 years that we're in the ACC. I'm not looking for Texas to do much.
No.
I see that as an absolute win. Because you go to competing with Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Texas A&M, all these big schools in the SEC that have been stealing kids away from Texas for the last 15 years. And now you can now Stark's got a recruiting tool that he hasn't had for the last 3 years.
That's
right?
Archie Manning.
It's Alabama. Alabama is a tremendous recruiting tool.
Yeah.
It's stay here. You can stay in Texas, or you can recruiting out in California, recruiting out in recruiting in upstate New York, Michigan.
Sarkisian was the reason why a lot of these kids from Texas wanted to go to Alabama because the way he ran his offense.
Right, and now they get to go play Alabama, which is a tremendous. They get to play Alabama. You play Alabama, you play Georgia, you play Florida, you play A&M. You got those four big opponents on your schedule every other year, and now instead of going to Georgia or Alabama or Florida, they can come to Texas and play all those teams.
Yeah. But against the Big Four, you're gonna get a major case of whoop ass.
Yeah, but as a recruit, as a recruiting tool, it's a tremendous boon because you can say, hey, why go to Florida when you can come here and and beat Florida. If you're recruiting a kid that's in Tallahassee, or or in wherever the hell in Auburn, or in where the hell is Georgia Tech? Atlanta.
ACC.
If you're recruiting a kid out of Atlanta, he could come to Texas and have a chance to play both Georgia and Florida and Tennessee and Alabama and A&M. You got 5 premium programs that you can play every year. And Oklahoma, don't forget Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to move in with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you know, you get all these great opponents to play every year, as opposed to you go from playing Oklahoma, Baylor, and Baylor, West Virginia, and Oklahoma State. It's a tremendous upgrade in your recruiting battles with some of these kids that are from Texas that are thinking of
they want to go to a big school that has a winning tradition
and play big schools with winning traditions.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm curious to see how Florida will do the first year head coach Billy Napier, because it's going to be interesting. See,
I like 8-4, 9-3.
I said 8-4. I think that we lose to Utah, which I think will be the Pac-12 champion when it's all said and done at the end of the season. The only reason I say we lose to Tennessee is we're on the road in Knoxville, we're not in Gainesville. They always play us tough. I think we get a payback.
Touchdown? How's that?
Against Kentucky this year, we beat LSU. We won't play Georgia. We're not going to beat Georgia.
Okay, fumble.
That was the those are those great off-campus games, neutral site games that Adam loves. The neutral site game that the Gators play every year in Jacksonville against Georgia. It's because it's a moneymaker for the city of Jacksonville. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, the biggest cocktail party in the world.
So,
right?
We don't. If we go to Jacksonville and we beat Georgia, I would be shocked.
I'll be beside myself.
Be shocked.
I think we all will.
I will be utterly. I will want to know what plane crashes happened to get you there.
So,
Hey, we're only 3 or 4 plane crashes away from the playoffs.
I'm working, guys, on getting a away credential for USF. Because they're going to Gainesville to play the Gators this year. So I'm working on trying to get a away credential. That would be cool to be a media member in the Swamp. I was there last year.
You stupid freakazoid.
As a fan, so but yeah, the Gators I think are going to go 8-4. I wrote my article. I think they finish 8-4. USF will either be 4-8,
6-6,
6-6,
5-7,
something like that this year.
Speaking of football, the LA Rams released Cameron Dicker.
Okay. I don't recognize the name.
He was the
there was that Texas kicker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping I want to see Dallas pick him up because we need a field goal kicker.
Who's your kicker now? Who's Dallas's active kicker?
Brent. What's his last name? Meyer. His last name is Mher. Maher. He was with the Cowboys about 2 years ago. Then they cut him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't no good. But now they bought him back in and re-signed him.
Oh yeah, Brett Maher.
Yeah.
He's from Nebraska. He's a Nebraska Cornhusker. Yeah.
He stinks.
Maher chooses his crazy left of the kicker. So yeah.
17-0, second quarter.
There you go. There you
intermission.
go. There you go, right there, Joe. There's an article on Fan Nation. It says Dicker the kicker cut by the Rams. Should the Dallas Cowboys sign Longhorns X? That's what it says. 2 days ago, that article came out.
They need to sign him.
Well, funny thing about it is a lot of people don't. I mean, the special teams has changed so much through the years. Having
people
a great
don't
kicker,
respect
the kicker.
He can be. He's not as good. He's not as good as Justin Tucker, but he can be right under Tucker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
Coach
kickers
well, huh?
in the NFL.
The kicker is the most underrated position in football,
Mhm.
Exactly.
I'd agree.
along with long snapper.
Yep.
You know, I think that there are too many teams that have a great kicker that let him go, and they regret it.
You know, I would say bring Dicker into Dallas and see what he can do.
Let him give it a try. I mean, can he be better than 77%?
You know, that's what preseason's for, so you can bring these players in that've been cut by other teams and give them a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't hate it.
What's
No.
not to say Dicker can make the Cowboy team?
He can give it a try.
Yep. At worst you do, you bring him in and you cut him. He doesn't make the team, but at least you give him
Right?
a try at it. Absolutely. I know the Bucks have a kicker they brought in to compete with Suckup.
Really?
He can't make a kick over 50 yards. So they brought this kid in, and the kid was kicking. He missed the field goal to win the game against Miami on Saturday night. But, you know, he was making 60 in practice at Raymond James Stadium. So
Yeah, I heard about that.
we'll see how that plays out. The rest, they have the Tennessee, I guess. Obviously, we could talk about the Patriots fighting with Carolina. Two
Yeah.
Clown shit.
That, and then the Bucks and the Titans got into it today. So
That's nothing new.
Uh-huh.
there's been some fights.
Little nastiness in the preseason, huh?
Yeah, well, you get to the
Nice.
point where you're tired of seeing the other team. You're like, you know what, assholes, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, words get exchanged and
Yep.
fists start flying.
Dallas
Yeah,
and Rams got into a little fight in practice.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, Gerald, to answer your question about Deshaun Watson being suspended 11 games and the $5 million fine,
Now
You know
let me
what?
ask you. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think that's fair?
I think it is fair. He's lucky.
Now wait a minute. Look what happened to Big Ben. Okay, Big Ben got 6 games and had it reduced to 3.
Well, I mean, as
Yeah,
of
that's
right
true.
now, you never know. That could be reduced. The 11 games could be reduced to 10 or 7
8.
or 8. You know, we don't know what's going to happen down the stretch. I think the NFL was looking more for the money
Yep.
than they were for the games. They wanted because of his contract being structured the way it was. He wasn't making a lot of money in this year for the Browns. It starts
But
next season. They
But
wanted
it's
to.
all guaranteed though. Even though he sits at those 11 games, he's still getting paid.
Oh yeah,
No, he
no
won't.
doubt, no doubt. No, I don't think he does. I don't think he gets paid.
Nope.
He's not
Oh,
getting
you
paid
don't?
for 11.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Wow, those are unpayable games that he's going to miss. And actually, the funny thing is, the power just went out, or the cable, whatever.
We still have you.
All I know is the Browns better go to the 49ers and try to get Jimmy G.
No. Not worth
I think they were hitting more for money than they were hitting more for the
games.
The games. But yeah, I think honestly that was the right thing to do. I mean, I understand, Ben Roethlisberger raping. Anytime you sexually assault a woman, you need to be checked. You need to be checked.
You do.
No matter what stage it is, rape, whatever.
Inappropriate touching.
Correct. You need to give your mental health checked.
But here's something that sounds fishy to me. Okay.
Yeah.
The Browns play Houston week 13.
Do you think the NFL did that on purpose?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I've heard a lot of people say, that they suspended him for the first 11 games. Week 12, he's coming back, and then that week 13 would be the next week that they could.
The Texans.
They're playing the Texans. So yeah, that could be something that the NFL set it up. Now, is it in Houston or is it in Cleveland? Where are they playing at? Are they playing?
It's in Houston.
Oh, then you know the NFL set that up. You know he's going to get booed. He's going to get booed no matter where he plays now. But he's going to get booed big time now coming, there, and for what happened, and now he's with Cleveland. Yeah.
And I hope and pray Cleveland rips Houston a new butthole.
They should. They have the better team. They got more talent. Cleveland should easily win that football game.
Yes.
But then again, everyone's talking about going and getting Jimmy G. Jacoby Brissett's not that bad of a quarterback. He's not a great, but he's a solid quarterback. He's going to win you games. I can tell you that.
But how many games do you think he can win?
6.
I was going to say at least 6 or 7. It depends on how Cleveland's schedule is.
Let's say by the time Watson comes back, they're 6-11. Okay, no chance for the playoffs at all.
You start him.
Would you start Watson?
I would.
Or would you let him sit the rest of the season and continue with Brissett?
Well, at the time they'd be 6-7 or 6-6 at that time.
Okay, well that's 6-6.
Yeah, you didn't bring
Obviously,
Deshaun Watson in to sit on the bench. Absolutely, he would definitely get the start in Houston over Brissett. But now, let's say Jacoby sends them, and they're at that point they're 7-5. I don't know. I don't know.
7-5. I would stick with Brissett.
That's what I mean.
It depends on why they're 7-5, though.
Correct. If they have a great running game. Nick Chubb is going to be an outstanding running back. I know Kareem Hunt wants out. He wants out. But they're not – Cleveland's not that bad of a football team.
And they have a great defense.
They're a great defense with Myles Garrett. So, yeah.
Paying Deshaun Watson $230 million a year.
Starting next year.
Okay. Why would you sit him
Yeah, he doesn't sit
on the bench while you're paying him that kind of money?
Well, this year, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work.
Yeah,
because he's going to get his base salary is only $1 million this year.
Right.
So he's going to lose $600,000 this year from the fines, and then plus he's going to be suspended for those games. So it shouldn't be that big of a cap hit this year. And it depends on where. Again, I think you play him, regardless of what your record is, because you need to know what you got with him. You need to get him back in game shape. You need to get him playing. You need to start building for 2023 as soon as possible. You need to see what kind of chemistry he has with your wide receivers, with your running backs, with your offensive line. Because if he doesn't have the right chemistry, then you need to retool in the offseason. But if you don't play him, and you go the whole offseason not knowing what you...
Yes, sir.
Do you play fantasy football?
Do I play fantasy football? I do not. I'm helping my roommate on Saturday with his draft. I don't play personally, no. I don't.
Well,
it doesn't.
I have a league, and I'm looking for I need 4 more players for my draft.
It doesn't interest me. I've never. I'm hard because I have so many.
I suck at fantasy.
Well, I played one fantasy league, and I played hockey, and I won the league.
Right at them.
And I blew them out of the water, and they don't want me to play no more. So, But anyway, to me, because I'm so watch so many teams.
Give it a shot.
It's hard to pick players, and then you're a fan of the team, and then your fantasy players playing against that team. Well, no, I'm not. No, it's that. No, it gets too complicated.
Oh, come on, that's the fun part of it.
It's too complicated. I honestly wish they had fantasy football in college. That would be great. That would be awesome.
They do.
They do?
They do?
They do have fantasy football college.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That would be an interesting draft. You have the whole nation to go after. That would be an interesting
Yep.
draft. Yeah, it would be
If
a
I
very
could figure out how to get set up, I would do it.
Yeah,
that
I
would
would. I'd be interested.
be a very interesting draft. Trying to draft. But with that in mind,
you
guys,
have-
go ahead.
that would be interesting because you have all these top ranked recruits.
Yeah. You could
Yeah,
pick
that'd be
players
fun.
that no one's ever heard of either.
I know, right?
And
Right.
you can pick quarterbacks in non-power conferences that'll roll. They can put up a lot of yards because they're in
A lot
they're
of
in
yards, a lot of touchdowns.
yep,
Yeah.
they're in a
I think you
higher
get a
conference.
quarterback never heard of that's playing for a college team would come out and blow you out of the water.
Hmm.
Well, that's happened.
Well, with that in mind, guys, we're at the kind of the closing of the show. Does anybody want to go ahead and do your shows if you need to? Go right ahead.
All right.
You guys.
Unless someone wants to go first.
Go right ahead.
Okay, since nobody volunteered, I guess I'll go first. Enhanced Sports Show. It's Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. New York time. That's East Coast time. Number to call is 512-543-4662. Number again, 512-543-4662. You can also look them on Facebook or on my Gmail account at gmail.com. Capitalize the G or you don't get squat because you won't. This week we'll be discussing the MLB playoff schedule, which is a doozy. NFL preseason. I will do college football because next week is week 0. I know everybody's thinking, oh, big whoop. Who cares about that? But I'm going to do it anyway. Because since it does count as an official week, even though most people don't think it does, but I will anyway. So also our regular features too, as well. So if you have time between 5 and 7, give a call. It should be very interesting. And of course, in about 2 weeks, we'll start doing the NFL. So I hope all you football crazy people out there will be joining us because the more the merrier.
All right. Anybody else want to say anything? Takers. All righty then. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess. Good. Good.
Sorry, I was looking at something. So starting September 3rd, I will be doing a new show over on the TikTok. I will be streaming again. Well, not against, but the word I was looking for was with. I'll be streaming with college football all day Saturday. So it'll be starting at 11:55. I'll come on the air. We'll do a quick pregame show, and we'll just jump right in and watch college football together. So if you can make it on Saturday from noon until whenever the late game gets over.
Well, how do we get
we'll
in?
make it. Just follow me on TikTok at Aries1445.
Here, can you send it to me later on?
Yeah, I can send it to you later on.
Thanks.
I'll probably hop on there and watch a little bit with him before I go to the USF game. It starts till 4:30. So
Sounds good. We'll
Oh,
see.
and the NBA schedule too, by the way, because that just came out yesterday.
I saw the Christmas Day games look like they've got some good matchups.
Oh yeah, sure do.
So with that, guys, we want to say thank you again for everyone that joined us either on here. Again, the show will be on YouTube following this broadcast. Thank you. Thanks to these three guys making this show fun every week. I guess my writer didn't get the memo, or maybe he had something come up. So in the future, I'll try to get him back on here, and we can have him come on here and talk to us about that. I'm going to try to get Von Allen in the next couple weeks before the NFL season starts. See if I can get him on here. He's always funny. He comes on here a lot. But until then, guys, we'll be back to the regularly scheduled program as we get. What's going to end up happening is you'll see a trend starting in a couple weeks where at the end of the show, final hour will be us going through the top 25 college football games and all of the NFL games. And then we're going to, we're betting on our games and give you guys our over-unders and our, if we take the points, we don't take the points, and stuff like that. But we will be starting to do that in a couple weeks. we'll get Gerald into that and kind of show him what we do on that. But until then, everyone, guys, thanks for joining us. We love all of you guys. Until next Thursday, everyone, please stay safe. Thanks to the men and women of our armed services and our first responders. Great. Thank you for what you guys do. We are sponsored again by Jarrett's Carrots and CreatingZenSpaces.com. We are part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio and NGSC Sports. Until next Thursday, guys, until next Thursday, stay safe, guys. Have a great weekend. I am the Sports Show Bradley Walker. Peace.
Good night, folks.
Print, send it.